Different roles in game design. Overall, the game design roles create the look and feel of the game, as well as its story and how the game will play. So let us take a look and explain the different types of design roles there are. Gameplay designer. Gameplay designers are responsible for the central part of the game experience, how it plays. They design the mechanics of the game, how high the character can jump, how long it takes to accelerate to maximum speed, or when you can gain points. They plan and define the game's structure, its rules, characters, objects, props, and vehicles, and think about different modes of play, like a story mode or multiplayer. Gameplay designers are a bridge between the technical and art teams. If the gameplay is too difficult to achieve technically, they figure out what's possible and rewrite the specification accordingly. Likewise, if the programmers develop a game engine in a way that means new exciting things can be done, the gameplay designer works out how to incorporate those into the game. They also train testers to play the game, making sure that they understand what's expected of the finished product. Lead game designer. Lead game designers are responsible for how a game looks and what it's like to play. They work with a small team, figuring out the characters and props and what's going to happen. Then they share those ideas with the rest of the team. Once a game is being made, they make sure deadlines and budgets are met. They are the ones that decide if changes need to be made. In smaller studios, they might do a wide variety of jobs too, the art, programming and marketing. But in large studios, they would have writers, lead animators, creative directors and gameplay designers to help. Level designer. Level designers understand what makes good gameplay. They design the game, but only a portion of it, normally referred to as a level. They take the specification defined by the gameplay designer and get into the detail, the actions, events, objects, and environment. The level designer first sketches ideas on paper or using 2D drawing software. They imagine the playing experience, putting themselves in the position of the player, mapping out all the possibilities. They need to think about the logic and the flow of events and actions, the conditions that need to be met for certain things to happen, and the challenges the player will encounter along the way. User experience or a UX designer. UX designers make sure a game is nice and easy to use, as distinct from being easy to win. They ensure the players get clear and effective feedback from the game. Their main concern is that the players don't get frustrated by a game that's being badly explained. UI designers are concerned with the user interface, the point at which the game and the players interact. They create the look and feel of things like the heads-up display, or HUD, showing the score, lives, and levels. They make sure that the menus and commands are clear. In larger games companies, the UX and UI roles are done by different people, but in smaller studios, as is often the way, they are combined into one job. UX designers tend to focus more on information a player needs for the game to flow well, whereas UI designers tend to focus on how that information is communicated. They make it look good and sound great. Writers. Games writers think up the story of a game. While the artists create the look of a monster, the game's writers give the monster a name, show how it can become a monster, and why it needs to be defeated. Writing for games is a highly collaborative process. In most cases, writers will be given a loose sequence of events and locations and be told to make it work. The story of a game is the result of many people and disciplines working together with conflicting needs and goals. The game will inevitably go through many stages of iteration and change, but most of it will be out of your control or influence. Writers will have to find a way to stitch it all together in the most efficient way possible, so that the audience believes it was meant to be that way all along. There's another way in which writing for games is different from writing novels or writing for film. In games, the player contributes to the story through their interactions. Instead of telling the player a story, the writer invites the player to do things so that they will understand the story.